Moments and momentum. Moments and momentum. The way to remember the difference, because they're spelled very, very similar. Moments has a T at the end. It's a turning force. There is something in the middle, and this is turning. It's going around in a circle. Moments starts with an M and ends with a T. It's a turning force. It's the amount of force times the distance. Momentum starts with an M, ends in an M. It's the mass times the amount of movement, the speed that it's going. MM, mass times movement. MT, mass or force. It's a mass if you're on a seesaw, because your mass is making the force. Mass times turning distance. So, the first one. Moments. Fold your paper up until it's very, very thick, maybe 8 or 9 turns, and then try to cut it with the very tip of your scissors. Oh, we can turn it around, but you can't cut into it. Whereas now, when you put it right close, so that the distance of the force is large, 10 centimeters, and the distance of the cutting is very small, force times distance equals force times distance. It's a force multiplier. It's 5 times more distance to my effort, the amount of I put in, to the effector force, the load. Watch. Ha-ha, got it. And you have to push it in so that you get enough friction so that it doesn't just go slip out. But yes, you can cut it when it's close to the pivot. Pivot or fulcrum, that's the turny-whirny part. Moments. Turning force. Another moments one. So in America, and also some doors elsewhere, you have just a doorknob like this. And turning it requires much more force than if you have this kind of doorknob. Much easier to turn. That's why taps for old people are given these extension parts. The doorknob behind me is much easier to open. You push it down with one little finger. Whereas a doorknob that's a circular ones like they have in America and elsewhere, you have to really grip hold of it and give it a good turn, much more muscle required. That's why this, because as you're turning it around, the center is the center of rotation. You're turning it, you need much more force to open a smaller thing than if you're opening a larger one. But this is not a fair test, because olive oil and jars don't necessarily have the same amount of partial vacuum inside, making it difficult to turn. Whereas small scissors versus big scissors on your piece of paper, yes, you can do the experiment. The reason why big scissors are better is because the distance from the fulcrum pivot to your effort, where you're pushing down. Now, you really want to be pushing down as far away as possible, but more fingers is better. Whereas little scissors, yes, when you're cutting your toenails, put the toenail right in near the pivot. And your fingers want to be about 5 times further away from the pivot than the nail is that you're cutting. It's a force multiplier. 5 times further away, 5 times more load going on, making you 5 times stronger. Force multipliers. Oh, and you can really see it. Hold on, that's in a minute. You can really see it on my pinholes. You press here with one finger, really easy to turn. Whereas putting it back, pressing here with one finger, you can really feel that you need 10 times more force. Because it's 10 times further away when it's at the very ends. And then it's really easy to push in and out. Pushing close to the pivot fulcrum, it's definitely harder. Cool experiment to do yourself. Ones that people don't realise are about moments is twisty things like lids and screwdrivers. A bigger, fatter screwdriver means that you've got a much bigger, more force multiplier. But also these bottle top openers. Because this part here is the part that doesn't move. It's the pivot, the fulcrum. This part is where the load goes, and this part is where you put your effort. You want to be holding at the end, not down here. If you hold there and try and open the top of a bottle, then you've got a force multiplier of 1 because the distance to the pivot is the same as the distance to the load. Pivot, load, pivot, effort. Now you want your effort to be 5 times further away than the load is. The load is the friction that's holding the lid on, and you push, you put the most effort you can at the end to open it. And this also affects screwdrivers. This is why this screwdriver is hard to use. Really, you want a big chunky screwdriver to make it easier. And other bottle top openers, longer means that it's easier to use. You multiply your force by more. And then I said momentum, because the two get mixed up. Momentum starts with an M, so often it's the mass that's causing the force. You need, for momentum, mass times velocity, movement. Mass, movement, times them together, you get the momentum. Now, you have two different things going on. If can A and can B are going at slightly different speeds, and can A is catching up with can B, and then the crash isn't very significant. Can A will slow down slightly, can B will speed up slightly, and seeing as they're both empty and the same weight, yes, from 90 centimetres per second and 70 centimetres per second, when they crash, they'll go along at 80. The average. Mass times velocity plus mass times velocity, stick them together. Now you have two things that happen. They might bounce, like balls in snooker or pool, or a tennis racket hitting a tennis ball, in which case they go off in different directions, and that makes for different mathematics, more complicated, but much nicer is if they bend and some of that kinetic energy is used to change the shape of the object. When they crush together, they bend and they go on. Particularly if you've got a head-on crash where after the collision a plastic, elastic is bounce, plastic collision means they crush and stick. So if this one's going 30 miles per hour, now usually with physics you want to put everything in meters, but in the case of momentum you can just keep it in miles per hour, meters per second, kilometers per hour, because put kilometers per hour in with both objects and get kilometers out with them joined. So yes, you can use several units when doing momentum. So if this one's going 80, centimeters per second, and this one's going 40 centimeters per second. When they crash, the 80 of course wins, and they go along together, when you do the maths, at 60 in this direction. So that's why momentum is a vector. Just like velocity, the direction happens. And of course this also applies to fruit. They can either bounce or they can crash together. And that makes a difference to your mathematics. Mass times velocity equals momentum. The momentum's either add and then divide by the total amount of mass to find out the velocity afterwards, or they subtract, and the one going the fastest wins. Moments and momentum, they're both multiplying, but momentum is mass times velocity. Gives you it looks like a P, but actually it's called rho. It's one of the letters of the Greek alphabet. Momentum is often used with a curly P. And moments is the distance, times the force. Force times distance. How much turning moment you have. Bye!